As family vans go, this is one top model that belongs on a catwalk. It's no surprise considering the C4 Picasso's French pedigree. It promises that haute couture feeling, and we found just the place to try it out. Our car tester Sasha says he's come to the climbing centre in Neuss, not because it's so nice or because he wants to have a climb. He's here to test the new C4, which you can see from here is the Picasso edition. That means it's a family van, and Citroen says it offers a first-class travel experience. We'll take a look at what that means in a moment, but first up is the exterior. What have they changed? Quite a lot up front. The classic Citroen double chevrons are now integrated with the radiator grille. The dipped and full beam headlights have been separated from the daytime running lights. The C-shaped chrome signature along the flanks gives the C4 Picasso its own personality. From front to back, the pillars are fairly standard for a European vehicle, but the C4 Picasso's back end is far more exciting. The rear lights have been given a 3D effect. We decide to hit the road to see how much of a top model this family van really is. Sasha says he isn't impressed with the automatic transmission. When it changes gear, he loses too much torque, which creates the feeling of a power lag. He says he'd rather shift manually. In the automatic version, that's achieved with rockers on the steering wheel. The C4 Picasso's fuel efficiency is admirable. Citroen says it needs just 4 litres per 100 kilometres. The top speed for both transmissions is 189 km/h, but there is a big catch: the engines. Our tester says the engines in this range are not the most powerful around. As he points out, a family van doesn't really need to be a racer. It should bring people safely and comfortably to their destination. But for ambitious drivers, a stronger, faster engine would be a better choice. But the bottom line is that the 84 kilowatt diesel is the most powerful diesel version. Inside, the first thing Sasha notices is the space. Not just in front, but in the rear too. He starts with the steering wheel. Everything is so cleanly designed, but the steering wheel seems quite overloaded by comparison. That has to do with the fact that there's a touch screen here, where you can press your way through to most of the functions. He thinks it's too much. Beyond that, we've got an American-style gear shift. That takes a bit of getting used to for Europeans. But they're familiar to some drivers from the Mercedes GL500, for example. Then there are a load of compartments that offer loads of storage options. Another highlight is the seat massage for the front passenger as well. That's usually found in limousines and high-end interiors. And the passenger also has the option of putting their feet up. In other words, a shelf glides out neatly that allows the front passenger to have a good nap on long journeys. You don't need any flowers here anymore. You can have your family in the dashboard instead, as represented by this beautiful landscape. You can also have them with you, even if they're not actually sitting in the car. In the second row, there are 3-point belts on all the seats. The chairs can also be moved forward to open up more space in the luggage compartment. And you can tilt the angle of the backs for more comfort on long drives. If you don't need the seats, you can fold them away. There's also an extra cover that creates a smooth cargo floor. The rear door is opened by a button on the remote control. And under the rear panel shelf, there's 537 litres of space. If you take it out and fold up the seats, there's a whole lot more. That sort of interior flexibility boosts the Citroen C4 Picasso's claim to a front spot on the catwalk. And the price is good too. Our tester says you can drive a C4 Picasso for just 20,000 euros, which is a good deal. He says families will get around easily and there's plenty of space for all your needs. The diesel model we tested runs to almost 31,000 euros, but it delivers that complete luxury feeling.
Und da hat man dann aber wirklich Luxus pur.
Audi's e-tron project is developing sustainable mobility for the future. The performance leader among the project's fully electric test vehicles is the R8 e-tron supercar. The A1 e-tron has also done well in tests. Since 2012, fleets of these cars have been driving around various German cities, as Audi's experts compile data on how the cars perform in everyday traffic situations. Audi's also looking at new alternative engine designs like the one used in the A3 g-tron, which runs on synthetic gas. Audi's Rainer Mangold says that the A3 g-tron produces only 20 grams of carbon dioxide per kilometre. That represents a major reduction in CO2 production. The CO2 that would usually be released as exhaust is now absorbed into the fuel production process. Right after a fill-up, or when it's really cold outside, the g-tron starts with regular gasoline and then switches quickly to synthetic gas. The amount of gas pressure varies. Lower pressure is used for low RPM, low speed situations. High pressure is used for faster driving. The g-tron's engine has an output of 81 kilowatts and a maximum torque of 200 newton meters, and can go from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in under 11 seconds. The A3 can run for 400 kilometers on one 14-kilogram tank of synthetic gas. When that fuel starts running low, below 0.6 of a kilogram, the engine switches automatically over to gasoline. And here's a new technical development for the A1 e-tron, a traffic light speed calculator. Audi's Tim Fronczek says this system can recommend a speed that will get you to the next traffic light just as it turns green. That creates a more efficient driving experience. But is it realistic for Audi to expect this system to work to its full potential? Tim says Audi thinks it's quite realistic because of the way they've designed it. But to make it useful, Audi will need the cooperation of authorities in cities and metropolitan areas. While you're waiting at a red light, the system also tells you how long you're going to be stuck there. Let's get back to the A3 g-tron Sportback. It doesn't look much different than the conventionally powered A3. Here you can see the A3's two auxiliary fuel tanks. Christian Bangemann of Audi says that the tanks are made of a carbon fibre composite. Everything must be as lightweight as possible, and carbon fibre fits the bill. Even with two fuel tanks, there's still plenty of trunk space. There are two fuel indicators on the dashboard. They've been set inside the tachometer. The 1.4-litre turbo engine is specifically designed to run on both synthetic gas and regular gasoline. Rainer Mangold says that during off-peak periods, the e-gas technology will allow the company to take surplus electricity from the grid and use it to split water into oxygen and hydrogen. Then they'll combine the hydrogen with CO2 to create synthetic methane. That means that electricity that comes from alternative sources like wind can now be used for the production of automotive fuel and sold at retail outlets using already existing pumps. We store it in the same distribution system here in Germany. It's the same sort of financial transaction. You just pull into a station that sells compressed natural gas and fill up with our synthetic fuel. We're going to install a pay card system so that when someone buys one of these cars, they can use any station that sells this kind of fuel. The A3 e-tron is due in Germany at the end of the year. Audi hasn't revealed the price yet, but insiders say it'll be under 30,000 euros. BMW's given its 5 Series a facelift. Besides the tweaks around the typical double kidney-shaped grille and air intakes, the Bavarians have given the engines a workover. The basic model is the 518D diesel, packing 99 kilowatts. The new model is also available as a hybrid. Volkswagen's come up with an estate version of the Golf 7. The Golf variant is notable not only for its design, but also its generous cargo room that's grown by 125 litres. There are 2 gasoline and 1 diesel engine to choose from, with prices starting from 18,950 euros in Germany. Big, mean and brutal. The Lancia Delta S4 is one of the most unusual rally cars of all time. The Delta wasn't made to please the eye, it was made to strike fear into the hearts of rival drivers. This is a driving safety centre near Graz in Austria. Most of the time it hosts safety training sessions, but today we're letting this Rally Group B monster off its leash. Here to tame the beast is Peter Freisinger, an Austrian rally enthusiast and hobbyist. Peter says that it's a real rally car, not a street car that's been modified for the rally circuit. This particular car has a great history. It was originally a test car. Fabrizio Tabadon won 3 European Championships in it. And Marco Allin also won driving it in Argentina. But in 1987, the Group B series was discontinued. The car was put on blocks until Peter's friend bought it and put it in a museum in Italy. Beauty lies in the eye of the beholder. From a technical perspective, the Delta S4 is one of the most lavishly engineered race cars around. Aurelio Lampredi and Claudio Lombardi developed the car in 1986 as a successor to the Lancia Rally 037. From a distance, the S4 looks similar to the production line Delta model, but technically the two are totally distinct. Under its angular plastic body, there's a tubular space frame with a mid-mounted engine and all-wheel drive. To comply with rally rules, Lancia had the Abarth company build a street version known as the Delta S4 Stradale. These are often converted into rally clones. Luckily, there are plenty of replacement parts around for the S4. That helps keep them in working order. Peter Freisinger says that the car's innards look like an electrical plant. What's unique with this car, he says, is that it has all-wheel drive combined with a compressor and a turbo. The car has 3 exhaust systems. No other rally car has all that. The monster motor started out as a 1.7-litre 4-cylinder. bumped up with a Volumex compressor and a turbocharger. It's said to be good for 550 horsepower. The transmission delivers power to all four wheels using a variable traction system, and the whole car weighs only 890 kilograms. Final tyre pressure check, and we're off. Our car tester, Robert Tomizzi, says he's delighted to ride along, but a little anxious too. Rally co-pilots have to have nerves of steel. Is Robert up to the task? Robert says it takes a lot of skill to control 890 kilograms being thrown around by 550 horsepower. With Peter Freisinger at the wheel, it's okay, but it's a brutal experience, even though we're just on a safety course. The acceleration is also brutal. They recorded an acceleration figure of 0 to 100 in 2.4 seconds on gravel. Now we're on pavement. Robert says he doesn't want to even think about what the co-pilot of a rally car has to put up with. The co-pilot has to navigate at these high speeds, and Robert says he's not really cut out for it. To each his own. After a short ride, Robert seems to have had enough.
It's completely on.
It turns out that the Lancia Delta S4 is still capable of inspiring fear, even in its passengers.